Oregonians, it's Congresswoman Andrea Salinas, and we're going to talk a bit today about a bill, how it's born and how we create it and how it comes to be. So the idea for bills can really come from anywhere, but I love to listen to the community and my constituents essentially. So when you call in, if you have ideas, we take them seriously. In fact, one called in or wrote in actually about the lunar landing and how it just never really got enough attention. And so I decided to craft a resolution around the importance and the significance of science and the lunar landing. Also, I go out and I talk to folks in the community, especially in rural areas, our rural elected officials, to learn about what the needs are, essentially, for rural communities. And so we came up with the Rural Partnership and Prosperity Act, which would add some additional technical assistance. So it can come from a stakeholder group, it can come from individuals, and it can come from things that we read in the paper. So typically, after an idea comes in, my staff will take the lead and they work with me to figure out what the parameters should be around the bill. And then we figure out who writes the bill. That is up to my staff, and typically they will get what we call legislative counsel. And they're the legal experts in figuring out what the current statute is and what statutes have to be changed in order to make that bill effective. So what are the parameters? When does it actually start? When does it take effect? Are there any directions that we want to give to the agencies that have to implement the bill? That all goes into the drafting of it, and my staff will work with legislative counsel. I will sign off then on that bill language. So once the bill is written, it gets introduced. And by introduce, we really mean we put it into the hopper. And there's actually a place at the clerk's desk on the floor of the House where you can submit your bill introduction. I need to sign it, so I need to sign off on it if I'm the original sponsor. We also have an electronic hopper. We're in the 21st century now, so you can do that as well. And then it gets assigned a bill number. So if it's a regular straightforward bill, it's typically HR. If it's a resolution, it'll be like HRES. But essentially it gets a bill number and then it comes back and then I have a bill number that is associated with my bill. So a lot of times you may see co-sponsors, co-leads, co-signers onto a bill. And I know I probably sometimes interchange these terms. Let me simplify what this means though. When I'm working on a bill, frequently I will try to get a Republican co-lead and co-sponsor. And they are the original, and so I will work with them to make sure that they are comfortable with the language. We go back and forth. A lot of times we'll negotiate on what's important to us and to our communities. And so that is typically what we call an original co-sponsor, and they sign onto the bill as well. And then typically they will help to get other sponsors, right? So other people from their caucus, and I will do the same thing. But that is typically the gist of it. And then others, once the bill is introduced, can also sign on. And then if the co-sponsor is comfortable with it, or if I'm comfortable with it, we allow people to kind of sign on at any point in time, as long as they have the original sponsor's permission. Okay, so one last thing. What's the difference between a House bill and a Senate bill? So really, it comes down to the Senate bills are introduced in the Senate. And when they get a Senate bill number, it's usually S. So it's S point and then 110 or 111 or whatever the number of that bill is. And that's how you distinguish between whether the bill was originated in the House or the Senate. Thanks for watching, thanks for learning, and we'll be back soon.